Today on the Chokeslam Wrestling Report, we are going to be talking about Rikishi calling out for the creative writing team in WWE to get fired after his son Jey Uso lost the world title this past Monday on Raw. We're going to be talking about that. Also, the question is, did Jey Uso get done dirty by WWE after winning the title? And his title's reign wasn't strong. Let's talk about that. Also, Hikuleo finally does his debut, but not in SmackDown or Raw, but WWE Main Event. We're going to be talking about that. And AEW unifies the Intercontinental or the Continental title and the International title together, and they kind of, introduce a new title for All In between Kenny Omega and Kosuke Okada. We're going to be talking about that and much more today on episode 249. Let's go.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to another episode of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. Happy Father's Day to those wrestling fans who are a father and whatnot. And again, guys, like I said before, if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, to the Chokeslam Wrestling Report YouTube channel, please do so. Hit that notification bell for new uploads and hit that thumbs up before I start with this show. Let's get it popping here. Let's talk about this whole Rikishi calling out WWE this past weekend during the week. My take on this is nothing new with Rikishi. Back in, I think it was last year, before I believe this whole thing, I don't remember. I think it was during the whole reunion of the Bloodline. Jey Uso ended up beating Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental title, and this is before he won. He won the world title, of course. But let's remember how Jey Uso ended up winning the Intercontinental title. Rikishi went online and actually was complaining that his son was having this big, humongous popularity, and he was not getting the title shots, the push that everybody was looking forward to. Instead, WWE, I guess, to make Rikishi just calm down and relax, they ended up giving him the Intercontinental title by beating Braun Breaker. But that reign lasted the same as the reign that just recently lasted 51 days. So Jey Uso loses the Intercontinental title, and then he goes on to the Bloodline and whatever. But then let's go to January. In January, or in February, because this year they did the Royal Rumble kind of late, we saw Jey Uso win and whatnot the Royal Rumble out of all places. And I hope I'm having Wi-Fi issues, because I'm looking at this and my Wi-Fi is acting up. I don't know why, but if anybody, this is nonsense here now. I'm gonna have Wi-Fi issues here now. Apparently, he ends up winning the Royal Rumble. Now, the first thing I decided to ask myself was, why did WWE come and give Jey Uso the Royal Rumble this year? And everybody was like, was it the right thing? Was it this? And I'm saying to myself, this don't look right. Jey Uso is not a good single wrestler. I don't care what anybody tells me. He's not believable single wrestler. He's great as a tag team with his brother, but he's not a believable single wrestler. They still ended up pushing him. He wrestles Gunther 4 times for the world title. The 5th time, he wins it at WrestleMania. And when I saw this, and not only that, the way he won the title, he beat Gunther with his own move. And to me, once I saw that was an embarrassment to me because you made Gunther look bad. You have Jey Uso beat Gunther with his own wrestling move, his finishing move. And everybody was having a good time. And I kept saying the only reason they gave Jey Uso the title was for merchandise. It wasn't because he's a good wrestler. And because of his entrance, because that's what WWE is all about. WWE is all about the entrance, the glamour, all that stuff. And Jey Uso, at the end of the day, this title ring on him was a weak title ring. Because let's be realistic, when he wrestled Logan Paul, last world title defense he had before he defended against Gunther, he won by disqualification. He really didn't beat Logan Paul because John Cena came in there and kind of beat him up. And then he just had a tag team Money in the Bank with Cody Rhodes. But that goes to show you, like, they try to protect him, but at the same time, you made him look weak. Because during the whole match between him and Cody Rhodes against Cena and Logan Paul, he was the one getting beat down most of them. And then who gets the win? Cody Rhodes gets the win, of course, because of R-Truth or Ron Killen coming in and attacking John Cena. But to get back on Rikishi, who did not see this coming? Rikishi's been complaining about WWE for the longest, way before Jey Uso won the Intercontinental belt, way before he won the Royal Rumble, way before he won the world title. He even told his son, when your contract is over, go talk to AEW. Next thing you know, as soon as he said that, WWE went and gave him the Intercontinental belt. Here's the problem what I have with all this, because to me, when it comes to Rikishi and the whole Anoa'i family and the Samoan family, they got control of WWE. Because right now, if you look at it, The Rock owns a lot of stocks. He's part of the board of directors. He's half Samoan, half black. You know what I'm saying? The Samoan family always had control of the WWE scene way before Vince McMahon Sr. was in charge. So now we see Mr. Rikishi upset that he even went as far as to say, oh, the whole creative team should be fired. What else do you expect? What did you expect? You expected him to go on a run like Hulk Hogan, on a run like Roman Reigns? That's not going to happen because it's not believable. You know what I'm saying? It's not believable. I understand he's your son and whatnot, but you weren't about Jey Uso. But what about your other son, Jimmy, who WWE's been treating him like crap since he's been a single wrestler? You know what I'm saying? He ain't talking about that. You know what I'm saying? And for you to say that they should fire the whole creative team because they didn't book Jey Uso right, it's crazy. Now, the other question that I put was if Jey Uso was done dirty. I don't think he was done dirty. I always had a feeling that Gunther was going to win that belt back. All this 51 days title reign was more of selling merchandise. It wasn't because Jey Uso is a great wrestler. You guys forget, and how easy the WWE fan base forget. Let's not forget that WrestleMania match he had with his brother Jimmy. That match was garbage. It was horrible. You know what I'm saying? But then the following year, y'all decided to give him the title. Okay? And this is the thing. This whole Samoan thing that they have going in WWE, they went from Roman Reigns, now Jey Uso. You know, it's I mean, if you think about it, look who's been on top the last 6-7 years. It's been a Samoan wrestler. If it's not Roman Reigns, now it's Jey Uso. You can't come out of nowhere and say, you know, that Jimmy was done. I mean, Jey was done dirty. He wasn't done dirty. He was not going to keep that belt for a long time. He was not. He should have never won the Rumble. He should have never won the world title at WrestleMania. And I know a lot of people may disagree with me. This was all about that yeet movement. You know what I'm saying? Which gets on my nerves because it's like everything is yeet. Everybody. This is why I don't go to wrestling shows anymore. because the wrestling fan base is just everything is yeet. What the fuck is a yeet? You know what I'm saying? But that's besides the point. My point is that people are upset that, especially Rikishi is upset because his son lost the title. It's the same thing what I've been hearing the last couple of weeks about the LA Knight situation. They're saying LA Knight should have never took a loss to Randy Orton. It wasn't now. LA Knight is not getting the world title. Whether you guys like it or not, he's not getting the world title. He's not. He didn't win Money in the Bank. He hasn't been in the Money in the Bank for 3 years in a row. He hasn't won the Money in the Bank. He fought Roman Reigns for the world title. He was not going to win the world. I already knew he was not going to win the world title. And he's not going to win it now. The fact that I read some article that said, WWE should push the younger wrestler. LA Knight is not a young wrestler. LA Knight's already in the 40s. Okay? So, hey, listen, I know a lot of you people are not going to be happy about this, but facts are facts. LA Knight's not going to win the world title. The most he's going to be is a mid-card wrestler. Not everybody can win the world title. He's good at the mic, don't get me wrong, but again, the base is always one of, he got to have mic skills, but he also has to have wrestling skills, and then he ain't got that. If WWE feels that he's not that wrestler that's going to push, that's going to get to the top like the way they want to, it's not going to happen. So with Rikishi calling out WWE because his son lost the belt and they're talking about they should fire the whole creative team is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Was he done dirty? I don't think he was done dirty. It wasn't. If just he was going to beat the guy who's going to hold the belt while Gunther takes a break, beats up Pat McAfee in a match, takes another break, and then he comes back and beats him. I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with that. So people need to chill. You know what I'm saying? They need to chill. I mean, wrestling fans just go crazy. It's like they want the same people. They want certain people to be world champion, but they want everybody in WWE to be world champion. You know what I'm saying? And, let's move on with Hikuleo. Finally, Hikuleo makes his WWE debut. But of course, WWE did not debut him on SmackDown. They did not debut him in Raw. Instead, they debut him, not even NXT, they debut him. They debuted him at WWE Main Event. Which, who sees that? But Hikuleo made his finally WWE debut. The crazy part is this man has been signed for over a year since he left New Japan Pro Wrestling last winter. Okay? And here he is showing up to wrestle. I don't know who he wrestled, but people were saying that he was going to show up at SmackDown, but apparently he's not. He may show up next week in SmackDown. But again, you cannot, I'm seeing people complaining that Hikuleo got moved up to the main roster. You're like, oh, he should have won NXT. For what? For what? And then again, complaining about all Roman Reigns' cousins are going to WWE and they're not going to NXT. First of all, Hikuleo is not related to Roman Reigns. Okay? He's not related to Solo Sikoa. He's not even related to the Usos. He's related to Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, the Gorillas of Destinies. And in case, this is the thing, a lot of these WWE fans do not follow New Japan Pro Wrestling, and when the new wrestlers come in, they're not familiar with them because they don't look at anything else but WWE. So for somebody to say, oh, Roman Reigns' cousins are coming in and they're going through NXT, and whatnot, he's not Roman Reigns' cousin. He's not related to Roman Reigns. Okay, those are Haku's sons. And I think two of them are adopted. They're adopted. They're not really Haku's sons, but they got trained by Haku. And Hikuleo is the youngest son of Tama Tonga, or the youngest brother of Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. So yeah, he is going to go up to the main roster because number one, Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga, both of them are out with bicep injuries. They're going to be around for maybe another 7 months. And in case you guys haven't been under a rock, right now, as Money in the Bank, Jacob Fatu turned on Solo Sikoa, and the only person in Solo Sikoa's corner is Jeff Cobb, and I'm gonna call him Jeff Cobb. I'm not calling him no JC Mateo because that's just stupid. Okay, the only one in his corner is Jeff Cobb. Okay, so you got to bring in somebody to pretty much, you know, ground Mr. Jacob Fatu. You know, he's all gas and no brakes, and I love what they're doing with Jacob Fatu. You know what I'm saying? So again, the base, and this is not taking shots at WWE as a whole, but some of the people in the base don't do their research, and then they get on social media and complain about shit that don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? So this is why I don't get into debates and all that. You know, I mean, I hear stuff when it comes to AEW. The people hate Mercedes Moné because Mercedes Moné, you know, oh, she's not in WWE. Oh, she said she's the Beyonce of pro wrestling. Listen, that's a little catchy that she's doing. And you know what? And in reality, you got to swallow your pride and look over what it is. This woman, Mercedes Moné, already has the European Wrestling Association title. She added another title to her collection. She already has Rep Pro. She has the TBS title, and she's about to win the AEW World title. I mean, I could see her beating Toni Storm for the belt. This woman's going to be, you might as well call her the belt collector, the real belt collector. She's like the indie guy, Matt Cardona. And people hate her because of that. If she was in WWE, you would not hear none of this shit. But because she's not in WWE, people hate her. So my point is it shows you what this tribalism, this wrestling base is all about. If you're not in WWE, they don't like you. Okay? And then when they're in WWE, they complain about something. Oh, why is this guy not in NXT and he's in the main roster? You can't win. It's like you cannot win. So regardless of what you do, people are going to complain about everything about wrestling. Oh, why is Hikuleo in the main roster? And why is, Mercedes Moné got a bunch of belts and she's not in WWE? You know, stupid shit. This is what you get. This is what you get. You know? So let's move on with the AEW Unified Titles, or the Unified title that they showed this past Wednesday in Dynamite. So apparently, I did if you guys don't remember, I did a podcast about Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada meeting up at All In to unify the AEW Continental title and the AEW International title. Now, I have a little bit of questioning when it comes to this. So that means there's no longer going to be a Continental Classic. The Continental Classic, there was a tournament that I enjoyed. The AEW looks like it's not going to happen anymore. The last 2 years with the Continental Classics were classics. I mean, especially with Mark Briscoe against Kyle Fletcher. That match was good. You have Brody Lee versus Danny Garcia. You had a lot of good matches back in those Continental Classic. And now it looks like that's not going to happen anymore because at All In, we got Kenny Omega, the international champion, AEW international champion, against Kazuchika Okada, the AEW continental champion. Now, to my surprise, the fact that I saw Okada join the Don Callis family, to me, makes more sense than he being part of the Elite. And I'm going to tell you why. Take a look at the Don Callis family. Everybody there except Echiseto. Echiseto, of course, from CMML. But everybody that is in the Don Callis family, and maybe Brian Cage. I don't know if Brian Cage ever wrestled in New Japan, but most of his wrestlers, all of them, wrestle in New Japan, or he had some type of business dealing with the wrestlers in New Japan. If you look at Kyle Fletcher, part of Aussie Open. They won the New Japan Strong Tag Team and the IWGP Tag Team. Okay, Roppongi Vice, Trent Barrera and Rocky Romero, former IWGP Junior Tag Team Champions, about 6-7 times. I don't know, I lost count of that. Okay, Takeshita is the never openweight champion in Japan right now, and he was the international champion at the same time. Okay, of course, Lance Archer, the Monster, he wrestled in New Japan plenty of time. You know what I'm saying? Who else is in there? The brand new member was Echiseto. Then you got Josh Alexander, who wrestled in New Japan, USA. So he has a whole squad of New Japan wrestlers. So the whole thing with Okada now joining, Don Callis, I don't know if that's going to be just for the storyline for now, but maybe Don Callis causes Okada the Continental title, because I cannot see Omega losing to Okada and then Okada staying with Don Callis. I mean, it could happen. I mean, because I'm sure that this match between Okada and Omega is going to be classic. If you guys have not seen, okay, Okada and Omega, all, 3-4 matches they had, especially with Wrestle Kingdom 2016 and whatnot, or 2017, I think it was. If you have not seen that match, the first one they had, then you're missing out. Okay, because their matches were classic, all of them, and especially the last one when Okada lost to Omega at Dominion in 2018 in a I think it was an hour and 3 minutes. Okay, and Omega beat him, and even though Omega's title reign in New Japan was kind of weak because they ended up giving the belt to Tanahashi, and that's the host of AEW after that. But at the end of the day, I still think Omega's going to beat Okada, and Okada is going to be mad, and he's going to take it out on Don Callis. But Don Callis' family right now is the hottest heel faction in AEW right now. Now they're talking about Ricochet trying to make a faction. I could see him with Leo Rush and Action Andretti, because he says he's looking for a crew. Think about it. That's the name of the team, the crew. So I mean, but the unified title looks gorgeous. Now, so my thing is, are you going to walk around calling that title the AEW unified title? The unified champion? The unified champion of what belts? You know what I'm saying? And I think there was rumor going around that the AEW world title is going to have a new look. So we'll find that all in, which is in a couple of weeks. It's not far. You know what I'm saying? It's incredible that this year has gone so quick when it comes to all these shows and whatnot. And AEW, I mean, a lot of people not talking about AEW and whatnot. And of course, my beef is with guys like WrestleNomics and Brandon Thurston. Why are we still dealing with TV ratings? You know what I'm saying? WWE don't have no TV rating. They ain't Netflix. But we know they're losing viewers. They're not the same people that they had when they were in USA Network. But why is everybody worrying about the damn TV ratings? And then NXT versus AEW. Who cares? No one cares. We know that AEW, right now, the last couple of weeks, they've been doing 4-hour shows, which I think is not a good idea. But then again, they're doing it because of the NBA playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So they're doing a 4-hour show. I mean, the last 2 weeks, the 4-hour shows were pretty decent. Especially the Dynamite shows are pretty decent, and they are on point with the storylines. But you got guys like JD from New York or whatever, clowns like that. They always got something stupid to say. And let's be realistic. This guy's a clown, regardless. You know what I'm saying? He just hate wrestling. The guy's miserable, lives in his mom's basement, whatever the case may be. Yeah, I'm saying it. So what? I'm just like, you get tired when you know that you see a good show and you follow all these dumbasses that got nothing better than, I'm going to go and give the ratings of TV rating. No one cares. As long as the show is good. That's all that matters. To me, the show is good. I don't care if it hit a 600, 700. If it caught my attention, I like it. And it's funny because I used to be like worrying about, oh my God, the ratings. I don't worry about the freaking ratings no more, because now I watch these shows and I say, you know what? I remember back 9 years ago when I started watching, actually longer than that, about 11 years ago, when I started watching Ring of Honor, just before AEW and all that, their shows were entertaining. They may not hit the 900 million viewers, but they were entertaining. That's what I'm looking for. Entertaining wrestling. Not the same shit over and over again. You know what I'm saying? That I see every week. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to WWE, they run with the same storylines. You get tired of it. You don't want to watch the same matches over and over again. It's different. And a lot of people, I think that a lot of people, when it comes to AEW, they beef is, none of them know how to do promos. It's not 15-minute. AEW doesn't do 15-minute promos unless it's in the middle of the show. You know what I'm saying? And now next week they have AEW Grand Slam Mexico. You're gonna see the real Mexican wrestlers, not that AAA shit you see with Octagon Jr. who fought Dominic this past Saturday. And you had Dominic beating him like nothing. He didn't even do shit. You know what I'm saying? So to me, you're gonna see real Mexican wrestler, Mystico, Máscara Dorada. You're gonna see all that, guys, all of them. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna see all that, and you're gonna see the difference between the Mexicans and CMML compared to AAA Mexican wrestlers. Now I don't got no beef with AAA wrestlers. I just feel that they don't know how to entertain the masses. So you know what I'm saying? But listen, at the end of the day, as long as it's wrestling, and like I said, I don't watch every promotion. Don't watch TNA. I stopped watching TNA because they don't know how to keep wrestlers. I don't watch NXT, and I definitely don't watch NWA. It was a story around this week about NWA saying they're not selling, which we know that's a lie. They're gonna end up selling anyway. They're not making no money. I don't care. People say, "Oh no, but they're on YouTube." You're not making no money. You're not making no money. You know what I'm saying? So the NWA, that's a promotion on light support. MLW, I hardly don't hear from them. I don't watch that either. They lost my attention on that. I used to love it and whatnot, but they're too much into the Mexican wrestling, and no, it's not. You know what I'm saying? But they still around. You know what I'm saying? So again, to me, it's about entertaining people who love wrestling. They're not into the tribalism shit and enjoyed it. But see, a lot of people are into the tribalism thing, and it's all about, I love this promotion, this and this, and all these people that love, I can't wait, TNA, AAA. None of y'all care about that shit 5 years ago. Y'all thought TNA was garbage. You thought AAA was garbage. All of a sudden now, because they form an allegiance with WWE, now it's all good. You know? But this is what you got. And this is what you got as far as a community, was instead of enjoying the shows, you complain about it, you take shots at people, you call people idiots, you call people stupid. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah. When it's all about going out there and do your research. So, but that enough for me. Blabbing my mouth off here on we're live, of course, but so that is it for me today, guys, and I think that covered everything. But this week, most likely, maybe on Tuesday, I will talk about Dominion. I haven't watched Dominion because Dominion was this morning, and it came in late at 2:55 in the morning. I'm not going to be up at that time looking at that. So I don't know the results. I don't know when I'm going to watch that. Maybe sometime this week. But most likely, if I don't talk about it in the middle of this week, I definitely will talk about it next weekend. Also, if you guys want to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, the X, and of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And whatnot. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers and whatnot. And also, we got the podcast store, which is tcwr.veryimpressive.com. Again, that's tcwr.veryimpressive.com. We're also on TikTok, the Chokeslam Wrestling. We're a part of the Joners Podcast and Network, and of course, Chair Shot Sports Media and whatnot. So support the podcast. I will appreciate it, guys. I will definitely appreciate it. Give me that thumbs up. That definitely helps the channel, and it gives us the analytics and the search. It makes it much easier for people to see us. Again, happy Father's Day to all those people who was on. I appreciate those who were on and whatnot, and I appreciate everything. Again, follow us on the YouTube channel and whatnot. We're trying to get 500, and I will gladly appreciate it. Until then, guys, I see you during the week. with more of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report.